Hey everybody, thank you for stopping by. This is part 4, I think, of the Valley of Dry Bones. And it's basically, for those who are new, it's basically my account of overcoming depression, the spirit of fear, and the spirit of suicide. I have about 3 other recordings prior to this one, so if you want to go and check those out, kind of get caught up, you can. So months had passed since the playgroup fiasco. Nothing had really changed. I was still in the house all the time, still no job, still no money, still no friends. And I think I was about 2 years into being over there, and every day really seemed like the movie Groundhog Day. Every day was the same thing over and over and over and over, except this one thing kind of crept into the scene. It was anger. I was mad. I had gotten mad with God, child. I mean, like mad. Because I was in a situation that I felt like I shouldn't had been in. I wasn't a bad person. I had been a church girl all my life. I had been a tither. I read my Bible and prayed. I didn't bother folks, kept to myself. And here I was going through this thing that was about to make me have a mental breakdown. I just could not understand why. So I was angry about that. And to make it worse, I was even more angry because God would not answer me. He would not talk to me. It was like radio silent. I would ask God over and over again, why are you letting this happen? Why are you doing this to me? And he would not say anything. And so my days kind of began to fill up with angry outbursts, yelling. I mean, at the top of my lungs. I did not care that somebody could call the police. I really didn't care. I was thinking, maybe they kick me out of here and I can go on back to the house. Now, side note, for those of you who might be thinking, well, you could have left anyway. I say I stayed for the sake of my daughter so she can grow up with her dad like I did. And, that's part of it. But the main reason, and being totally 100% honest, I didn't want to hear the mouth from the people saying, you shouldn't have left your husband. It was for better or for worse. You should have stayed. And I don't believe in going back and forth with people about decisions that I made. And I really wasn't in the greatest state of mind. So I just, those 2 reasons. Now, back to the story. I was mad with God because he would not answer me. And when I yelled, why won't you help me? That it broke my heart to say it. It still hurts just thinking about, why won't you help me? Why won't you help me? My hands were squeezed so tight for so long that when I finally did open them up, they were numb. And I yelled, and through gritted teeth, the hot tears felt like my face was on fire. And it was so intense that I almost passed out a couple of times. And it was like the more I said it, the angrier I got. Like, I just felt like God just did not care about your girl. I wasn't a horrible person. I could not understand. Like, why are you doing this to me, or allowing this, or however it's supposed to go? And then you're not helping me. Is you gonna help me or what? So my days were filled with yelling, and it was kind of like what's the word? Like the domino effect. The more I yelled, the angrier I got. The angrier I got, the worse I felt. I felt like trash. I didn't like what I saw when I looked into the mirror. I was still wearing maternity clothes. My child is like 2 years old. I'm still wearing maternity clothes. It was just bad. So I figured, well, if I get a different, set of clothes to wear, if I do something with my hair, I'll feel like somebody, I'll feel like something. So I told my husband what I wanted. I was like, I need some money to go and at least, get a couple of pair of jeans and some shirts and get my hair done. And he was like, why? You don't go nowhere. And so an argument ensued from that. I'm like, you got the money to buy what you want to buy every week for yourself. Why you can't help us a style? So that was a big argument. Okay, I remember the night. It was nighttime. We, got into it about that. And he was not budging. It's okay. Okay, that's how you want to do. Fine. Okay. So went to bed. The next morning, saw him off to work. Got you, buddy. Went to the bathroom. Got in the mirror. Took my ponytail. I had shoulder length hair. My hair, I always had it in a ponytail. Took the ponytail loose. Shook my hair out. Got the scissors and began to cut, child. Yeah, I was talking trash the whole time. Cutting my hair. You don't want to help me. I'm going to show you. I'm going to fix you. Da-da-da-da. And when the last bit of hair fell into the sink, I looked in the mirror and said, what have I done? In the beginning, it seemed like a very good idea. But when I had finished, child, I looked like a Dollar Tree Florida Evans. It was bad. Like, my hair is short now, but it's natural and I have some product in it. I had a relaxer and I couldn't see the back. I couldn't see the sides too good. So it was like dents and holes and gaps. Child, it was bad. And when he came home and saw my hair, you cut your hair and this, and this. And I had a smirk on my face. A smirk? Why would I have a smirk on my face? Because I just mutilated my hair trying to prove a point. It's not like I had a job or I was going around his friends or his co-workers. I was to the house all day, every day, looking like a Dollar Tree Florida Evans child. It was bad. So I believe that later on, he let me stay like that for a while. I think maybe a month later, he gave me some money to go get some braids or something to that effect. But there's a lesson from that part. I'm going to share that later. I started writing again, like Dear Diary type stuff. I don't know if I mentioned it in the earlier episodes. Writing used to be a way of getting things out for me. It wasn't every day. It was when I had things that I needed to get out and I didn't feel like I could tell anybody or I could trust anybody. I would just write it down and then I would tear it up. And then so that kind of came to my mind. Why don't you write? Now it's called journaling. But when we were younger, teenagers or whatever, we called it write it in a diary. But I just started writing my feelings out. I did have a friend back home, Miss Independent, but I felt like I was being a broken record to her and she had her own problems. So I just couldn't keep talking to her about the same old thing. And again, it was like Groundhog Day. So I just kept writing and writing and writing. I felt better once I got done. But there were no answers. So it seemed like a wasted effort to me. But as I look back months later, I began to see solutions. As I was writing, these thoughts would come and there would be solutions in my writing. And I didn't know it at the time. That's why I like to encourage people today to make sure that you write. Because I believe a lot of times we have our own answers, but we just want to talk to somebody and hear it. We don't really trust our own judgment. We don't really trust and believe that God is speaking to us because it's not audible. We're used to hearing audible advice when we need to trust more of the God inside of us in our spirit. Okay, so moving forward, there had been, I don't know, months, because my hair had started growing out. So months had passed since that had happened. And one day I was looking at the base paper and there was an announcement about the community center would list the different things that they had going on. And there was an announcement about salsa dance lessons. And I always wanted to take salsa dance lessons, ballroom dances, like the folks that would be on Lawrence Welk, child. I always wanted to do that. And so I told my husband, look, they're having salsa dance lessons. I think it was every Thursday for 4 to 6 weeks or something like that. It wasn't daily, maybe once or twice a week. And he was like, I don't want to take no salsa dance lessons. I was like, well, I do. He wasn't going to give me the money. So I was like, well, another one bites the dust. I guess I'll keep sitting in the house. And I think this is where I Will Not Be Denied was born. The longer I thought about it, the more determined I got. My mind started turning. I started coming up with these ideas because I had to pay for it. So I went through all of my stuff, found some clothes and shoes and, jewelry and stuff. And I went to like this yard sale situation, sold it, and, made enough money to take the class. And so it was time for the class to happen. And I told him I was going. I said, and I ain't taking the baby with me, and pimped right on out and went to the community center. And I was wide open. I was driving real fast, like somebody was chasing me. And so I got to the community center and my thoughts started going and going and going and going. Ain't nobody gonna want to dance with you. Ain't nobody gonna want to talk to you. It's gonna be just like it was at the play group. So you might as well go on back and take that money and go buy you a little book or something. And I just sat there for a few minutes, longer than what I should have. It was time for the class to start and I was still sitting there. I was like battling with myself. I had gotten comfortable in my pain. I had gotten familiar with the misery of disappointment. But way, way, way deep down, the old me before all of this happened was still down there. And I kind of knew that if I got out and went in, that it might be something in there for me. Or at the very least, I did it or I tried. Versus beating myself up because I felt like trash and felt like I looked like trash. That old me was like, I can't explain it. It was like a little kernel of corn. It was that small, just a little bit of the old me. If you get out, something good can happen from this. So I got out and I was like, let me go ahead and go. And I could feel the tears coming. And I knew if one tear fell, I was going to get back in the car and go. So I started walking real fast as I could. I reached the door, pulled on the handle. That was it. Like, ain't no turning back now. So I got inside and people were dancing and all of this stuff. And I was like, ain't no way I'm going over there now. I was kind of trying to talk myself out of it, but I couldn't move. I felt like Miss Celie